Hello and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be kind of a very late review of the anime My Dress-Up Darling. So I had actually watched this quite a while back, but recently a friend of mine recently watched it and was talking about it, and I thought, oh wait, I really like that anime, and I watched it before I really made this channel and started making reviews. So if you're one of the people that haven't watched My Dress-Up Darling, this is kind of going to be spoilerish, so beware of that before continuing if you're trying to look for something to give you a reason to watch it. So essentially this show is perfect if you want a blend of something so very sweet that you want to experience in real life, but in the same breath has some scenes that would make you want to slam your laptop shut if anyone happened to walk into the room. Now, before I actually started watching the show, the only thing that I actually knew about it was that the main focus of the overall concept was cosplay, and that it wasn't about like two people getting together, and that the relationship had actual development. The characters were like fully rounded characters, and there was very good development between the two. So probably the shortest synopsis I can give of season 1 is that two high school students are trying to hide their passion that they find embarrassing if other people would find out. One's passion is crafting 𝕝𝕚𝕟 dolls, a craft that he picked up from, his family, his grandfather, and the other being to cosplay her favorite degenerative video game characters. So what would you have it? The two end up finding out about each other's hidden passions and end up teaming up to make handcrafted cosplays. So the characters Gojo and Marin actually end up coming together, and since Gojo is so good at making clothes for these 𝕝𝕚𝕟 dolls, they try and have that overlap with making cosplay outfits. Now it's a huge struggle because obviously going from small 𝕝𝕚𝕟 dolls to an actual person, a real life girl, so they both end up really struggling in the beginning, and it's pretty comical to watch. So due to the nature of the show being cosplay and that consisting of a lot of measurements and stuff being taken, there is a lot of scenes to where Marin puts herself in a pretty compromised position in front of Gojo. But luckily, instead of having it go the standard anime route that you would see of innocent girl puts herself in compromising position and guy takes advantage, we actually see somewhat the opposite. Marin is not putting herself into these compromising positions because she is dumb or being taken advantage of. She is actually very self-confident and is doing this to logically get to the end point and get to the cosplay sooner. And we actually see Gojo not being the boy that takes advantage of a girl, but actually so very embarrassed and blushy that he is trying to get through any kind of measurements or scenes to where she's lacking proper amounts of clothes and getting out of that situation as soon as possible. The whole dynamic between them is actually very sweet, and the innocent relationship between the two is very refreshing to see. So when I describe it as something pretty bare bones like that, it might be confusing if you look at my title and you might be wondering where that comes from. Well, starting from even episode 1, there's quite a lot of scenes to where Marin puts Gojo into these really almost preposterous situations, just because she's kind of an airhead and she's not very shy about having to remove clothes to take measurements. She's never doing these to be outright sexual, and they're really not trying to frame them in a sexual light. Now, the secondhand embarrassment can probably be felt through the screen, because you'll be watching episode after episode of Marin stripping her clothes to change into a cosplay that she's really excited to try on. Marin stripping her clothes because she needs to take measurements and it reveals a bathing suit underneath. Or Marin asking to help be stripped because it is too hot, the cosplay is too restricting, and her boobs are about to pop out of her boob bag. Now once again, none of these are ever done with sexual intent. It's actually very innocent intent, and it's just fueled by her passion to try and encapsulate these people that she has seen in video games that have become her favorite characters. And also Gojo, he doesn't seem to also view this in like a pleasurable sexual fashion. He very much wants to remove himself from this. He never tries to make a move on her. He always is very much a gentleman and is very, very hands-off most of the time, except when absolutely necessary to take measurements. So some of these scenes you will get secondhand embarrassment from, but there's never any scenes to where you will be awkward or uncomfortable. You're never gonna feel like the scene is taking a very weird turn. It all stays as innocent as you can get with someone standing in their bathing suit waiting to get their inseam line measured. So this is a IP that initially I wanted to read the manga of because I, while walking through Barnes & Noble, saw the manga covers and thought that they were just so beautiful. I loved Marin's design. I thought the colors and character designs were great, but I just never really got into it. It was kind of at a time to where I was trying not to overdo it on buying manga, because if you know, manga's quite expensive. And so I just kind of held off because I was trying to wait for like more volumes to come out to kind of see if it was actually as good as I thought it would be, because at the time I really only knew that it was a cosplay focus for the theme. And so at that time I just kind of waited, and then eventually waited so long that the anime came out. And so I decided to watch this anime. I actually ended up watching it with my boyfriend after we had finished House of Dragons. And yeah, we both very much enjoyed it. And I somehow managed to get through watching the entire thing without running into any spoilers online. Even though I don't partake in the hobby itself, I do really like cosplay, the idea of cosplay, all of the work that can go in behind the scenes for it, and just the passion that people put into making their cosplay, making the props, and the photo shoots that go into it. So having the show really put that focus, that forefront of Marin is incredibly passionate about cosplay, and these are characters that she truly loves, like with her whole heart. It's just very motivating in a way. So the entirety of season 1 was actually so well crafted and just so much better than I would anticipate. Just a anime that the core concept is cosplay. I was really actually quite worried, but it was so good that I'm actually very excited to see what could possibly come from season 2. Between Gojo's passion for clothing that stems from his wanting to follow in his grandfather's steps for making Hina dolls, and Marin's just overflowing passion for cosplay, these two are pretty much a match made in heaven. The series is pretty much perfectly paced. We get to see both of them become very, very close as friends, and they actually get to know each other on that friendship basis. And due to this, the feelings and closeness that they grow and develop actually seem to happen very naturally. Everything that happens here seems pretty believable. So I'd very much recommend this to anyone who, like myself, has an interest in cosplay and kind of the behind the scenes of things, or if you just want an anime that you can kind of poke fun at. Each episode certainly has parts that will make you laugh, and also ones that will maybe have you hiding behind your hands. There are really, really sweet moments throughout the show, including once you get especially to the later part of the season. Gojo not only helps Marin live out her cosplay dreams, but actually helps multiple other people kind of up their cosplay game, or even allow them to do their first cosplay, and helps them be free and open about it, helps them boost their confidence over it. And at the end, this group shows that if you have people on your side, you can do whatever you want, and those people can help you feel comfortable. So I truly believe that this is pretty much the perfect show that blends wholesome friendship with a sprinkle of degeneracy. So because we really haven't, I think, gotten anything confirmed for season 2 yet, I haven't at least seen anything, I am kind of thinking about starting the manga. So if you are someone that has gotten into this series and has read the manga, let me know if I should do that in the comments below. But that pretty much wraps up my review for My Dress Up Darling. That is probably like a year overdue, but I eventually got to it. So if you actually cared, thank you so much for watching all the way through, and drop a comment down below on what you thought of the series. But that will be all for me today, so thank you for everyone who showed up. If you liked this video, give me a like to let me know that you did, and maybe subscribe to keep track of all the random other anime and books that I talk about here. Bye.